Well, here we are, working to get on the shoe. I'm doing some cleanup on it. We're gonna go through some process of it today, where I'm gonna kind of add the tongue and a few things like that. So let's see what happens today, see how much further I can get with this shoe, get you guys going a little bit more about placement. Let's see what happens here. So, as we talked a few minutes ago, I'm working on kind of cleaning up the shoe a little bit, smoothing it out, kind of get some of these edges a little bit rounder, really working the shoe, the angle of the shoe, stuff like that, so I can begin to make it a little bit more of a round shape. Get rid of some of those hard edges, smoothing it, sanding it down. I'm gonna have to add some thinner slabs around the edges, and I'm gonna demo that in a few minutes on how to do that. I'm really trying to get my shoe all smooth together. And then I can put my tongue in there. I probably let this get a little bit too dry. I'll probably put it back in my damp box today and see if I can get a little bit softer so it's not quite so dry. Kind of work on this a little bit today and talk about some of the detail work. Get the tongue made out first and a few of the other pieces. I want to go from there. So I'm going to set the camera up. So a little time lapse again. Get all the pieces pre-primed, ready to go, and yeah, get that kind of rolling. Alright, in this part of the video here, I'm just getting the slabs rolled out again using the rolling pins and sticks. I'm trying to make the tongue right now that goes inside my shoe, the part that inside part of my shoe. Again, smooth it out with the rib, kind of like using roughly the piece I used to connect the top with to make my tongue make it a little bit bigger. Trim it down a little bit later. Remove that. That's about a 1/4 inch thick. The rest of it, I want to make the clay kind of thin, so I'm rolling out some slabs here, making them nice and thin. Like an 1/8, it's going to be thin, smooth them out with your rib, good to go. So it has this is going to be like my decorative stuff. I add things onto my shoe. That could be the edge around the seam of it, parts I'm going to be carving, adding, and removing clay as well. This just kind of helps me get that started. I have some pieces cut out from my shoe. I'm hoping it's going to work out okay. I'm going to do a little more cleanup in here. Make sure it's all nice and pretty well cleaned up for me to work on. Like I said, guys, I'm not doing the best detail of a shoe, I won't lie, that I possibly can, because I'm trying to use a demonstration piece. But here's my tongue. I'm going to sneak up in here as well. I might have to cut it a little bit smaller to make it fit. I mean, a little bit bigger size-wise, so then I can attach it on the inside in here, and so it'll cut right in and fit inside my piece this way. Probably need some newspaper as well, kind of get this rolling, and then I'm gonna go through the process again. You guys see kind of what I'm doing. I'm just gonna probably have a little voiceover talk and all that stuff as well, so you kind of see how I'm building the shoe, and kind of begin to see how it's all beginning to come together. So we'll kind of work on it from there. I have some thinner slabs you saw me roll out as well. They're right here that I can use for edging, like the bottom part of the shoe, some different layers of the shoe, the back of the shoe, add some coils there as well. Kind of gonna build up some definition and some detail to the shoe, because it's getting kind of stiff now, so I can kind of do that a little bit more, build the shoe how I want it to be. All right, so I had this kind of a piece on there as well. All right, let's go and get started on that a little bit. All right, now it's for me to begin to start scoring, slipping the pieces in. Cutting the tongue, looking at it, trying to shape it a little bit more. Get it ready to go. I'm scoring it, getting some newspaper I need to grab. I forgot to grab that. I have something to shove in there. I'm going to score the inside of it. Apply my vinegar on both parts of the seams. Press it in there together so it's really kind of pressed in, holding it together. And I'm going to take some newspaper, just going to shove it in there to help support that tongue. Now I'm going to go back over with a damp sponge, and I got to kind of blend in smooth. The reason why I have to do this is I let my clay get a little bit too dry. So I have to kind of go back and work it over a little bit, try to soften it up a little bit, try to get that piece to go. Now I'm just putting in some details, looking at my shoe for some stuff, going back around, adding some coils around that lip, trying to round it off a little bit, get that basic shape as I'm trying to do there. Get the shape of what that shoe's supposed to look like. as I said earlier, I got my shoe a little bit too dry, so I'm going back over, fixing some cracks, blending some seams together, making sure it's more of a round feature at the top part of the shoe. Trying to get it to a nice little shape. Scoring and slipping, adding some vinegar, blending those little coils on there. Trying to give more of a roundness to the shoe. So I'm working on right here. Using a paddle, a little more shaping. I'm doing that as well. And also the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make that part of the tongue disappear, begin to blend in so it looks like it's one part of the shoe. So I give the illusion that there's more pieces to the clay than there actually is. So I have to do that first by getting rid of that little extra seam so it looks like all the shoes in one piece. I'm drawing out the lines. I'm now beginning to put some details into my shoe. The cool part about here is the thickness I need for that trim around my shoe, same thickness as the stick I have to roll my my slabs out, so I was able to make it pretty quickly. What I'm doing here is I'm scoring and slipping and adding it on, really making sure I blend it on there really well, compressing it, smoothing it, blending it onto the bottom of the shoe everywhere. I'm leaving the top pretty much kind of a clean line, blending the bottom part out because it kind of blends in with the rest of the shoe. See, I got a piece of foam underneath it to help support it. You can use whatever you want. A towel will work as well. I'm scoring and slipping it on and attaching it. My next step is to add some texture and decoration to that trim that goes around my shoe once I have it attached. The reason why is it helps kind of keep it in place from not coming off as well. So I'm going through there, adding the texture to it, to that trim, and slowly working on that as well. Once I've got my trim put on, I'm now kind of putting in the designs, the idea for the rest of the shoe. What I'm doing, instead of adding slabs on because the clay is kind of thick, I'm going through carving in, give the illusion that there's more depth there than there actually is. Smoothing it out, cleaning it, carving it, making it look like it's part of the shoe. Everything's kind of, give the illusion of it. So I'm not really going back, adding the detail. I'm using my paddle there to kind of press those lines in a little bit more to really get that clay, make sure it's really on there really good so it doesn't fall off. Going through, just smoothing it, cleaning it up, really working on the ideas and the lines. Starting to mark things out, starting to begin to add detail. Back in the shoe, I'm kind of working on getting the little back tab part that's on there. It's on my shoe, so I'm cutting out a couple pieces, getting a little slab on there, making that a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, scoring and slipping that on, trying to smooth it out, shape it, so it adds more depth to my piece. It's all about giving the illusion. As I said, I'm slowly working on making this a freestanding sculpture that's complete all the way around. So that's kind of what I'm working on there. This is just a different angle of me working on the shoe. I know the camera's not quite in focus. I'm trying to do everything myself. But I'm going back here, just adding some more details, carving the back side of it, kind of blending it and smoothing it to kind of make it look, have that depth of the shoe, give the illusion it's there. This constantly takes a lot of work to make it happen. Okay, today I decided to work on the shoe a little bit more, get some more detail on it. You know, it's coming close, pretty close. I mean, I'm trying to throw this together for a demo. That gives you an idea of kind of what the shoe's gonna start looking like. Start taking on some detail, all the shape. It's kind of a little off, but not too bad. Really, you know, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wrap it up in my damp box here. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. So I have my board. All I'm gonna do is take it on my board here, take my bag, add the floor, and wrap it up. One thing I did not do last time, did not wrap this up very well. It's a little bit drier than I want it to be. I don't want that to happen to you. So again, wrap it up nice and tight. Don't have to worry about spraying it. Because I have a damp box, bring my box on over. Huge, oh, the big one. I can always take a little bit of water, spray it in there a little bit, so there's some moisture in there. I put plaster in the bottom of mine. Put it like this, take my lid, close it up, and move it out of the way. Now I'll keep it nice and moist in there overnight. Now my extra clay I have here, I have all these slabs, so I let the clay dry out. All I want to do is take it in these pieces, put it in like an extra clay bag, Ziploc bag, whatever. It's been sitting here for a while. Spray it with some water. Mix it up nicely. I have it and it's ready to go, and I'll finish the rest of my work area. And then I get started on your shoe. I will show you a finished piece of it when I get it all done. And yeah, go to wrap it up. See what you can do with yours.